everyone, I'm Lori Whitlock and I am going to show you how to put together this surprise twist birthday card that I have at the Silhouette Design Store and at shop.loriwhitlock.com in SVG format. I think you're really going to like this card. It is so cute. So I've gone ahead and cut all the pieces out that you can see here, and I've partially assembled the project. I've cut the main card piece out of the blue and the main box out of blue cardstock. And then I've used pattern paper to embellish all the panels of the card and the box. And I wanted my box to look like a present, so I've chosen some polka dot pattern paper to use for those covering panels. And then I just wanted some different patterns for my card. So I've gone ahead and installed those here on the inside of the card and on the outside. I've gone ahead and put two of the panels on there. I've got the third one sitting here ready to put on at the end after we install our brad here in a little bit. So I've also cut out the cute little sentiment print and cut and the mat for that. I'm going to go ahead and set the pieces for the card base off to the side for a minute, and we'll get to that portion of the card here in just a little bit. Additionally, you're going to need a little brad, and it's a little bit bigger one. It's the 1/4 inch brad, and then a rubber band. And when I lay this rubber band flat and I measure it, it's 2.5 inches long. So if that helps you choose the proper rubber band. I'll set these pieces off for just a minute. I've also got some grosgrain ribbon, and it's yellow and it's about 1/8 inch, and that's what I've used for the little pulls here at the top. And then I'm going to use a little baker's twine here at the end to wrap around my card. So let's get started putting this card together. Like I mentioned, I've gone ahead and put the covering panels on. This is actually the bottom of the box, and you really wouldn't need this covering panel. I cut it, so I went ahead and installed it, but you would only need one for the top because this is going to install inside our card and be hidden. This is the pattern paper with a score mark through the middle here, and it installs here on this panel that has a score mark through the middle. And there's another one right here, and I went ahead and put that in, but I saved one to show you exactly how I did that. So I'm going to take a little adhesive and just put it on the back of this piece, but I'm going to fold it in half, and I need to line that right up with that fold here. So I'm just going to do half at a time so we get it exactly in the right position. We don't want that to bind up as we're trying to fold our twist portion of the card. Okay, so I'm just gonna glue that with about 1/8 inch gap on all sides except here in the middle. I want to make sure I line up that fold with the score mark on the blue piece. So you can see that that's just lined up like that. Give it some good pressure to make sure it adheres really well. And then we'll put some adhesive on the other side of that pattern paper and fold it back over on the blue. So that is the trickiest two covering panels are those two. Everything else is pretty straightforward. They're just squares and triangles. And I've gone ahead and put some paper backed adhesive on all these glue tabs so that it's easy for us to peel that off, and it's a nice strong tape so that it'll adhere really well. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and fold on all those score marks on the glue tabs, and these pieces that are angled, you're actually going to fold them towards each other. So just go around the box, folding glue tabs towards the inside and the pattern pieces on an angle towards each other. Okay, this one here is going to fold down, and then there's a little gusset area in here to create a little pocket for a rubber band, and that's going to fold over on itself and then fold back. So you can see that it's forming a little pocket inside where we're going to install a rubber band in that little groove that we created on one end. So then we'll do the same thing on this section here. Fold to make our corner, fold the little adhesive sides towards each other, and then fold the other section back, again forming a corner. Okay, there we've got our angled piece here with our pattern paper on it. So I'm going to fold that back on itself and train that to fold really well. Same with this box side, and these glue tabs go towards the inside. And then we have this section here that folds on itself. And then the top of the box We just fold everything down. You can kind of see how our box is coming together here. Let's see, I think we've got pretty much all those sides folded. So now the trickiest part is just starting to assemble our box, okay? So let's go ahead and we'll do our very first side here, which is got our rubber band section in here. So we'll pull off our paper backing and then we'll just fold that on top of itself. And we do not need to put the rubber band on until we have glued those together. You can see how those line up and our little hole is right there. And let's go ahead and do this other little rubber band section as well. And if you'll notice, I put this backing tape, one of the strips is close to the inside fold and the other one is really close to the outside fold. So we'll go ahead and push those together and glue that in place. So those corners are now formed. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and glue the sides of our box in place. So let's go ahead and glue this side right here in place. So we'll take our paper backing off and just pull that side right up where it goes. And now is a really good time to go ahead and get your rubber band and attach it in that little groove. So you're just going to put the rubber band in there and slide it in place. You can see how it hooks inside that little hole. So we'll just let that rubber band kind of hang free here in the middle. And while I'm here, I want to talk about the little ribbons that I have going through this hole. So I've got 2 ribbons that are poking out on the outside, and all I've done is taken about a 5-inch piece of ribbon, tied a knot in it, and pushed it through the hole. And I had to use like the tip of my scissors to push them through the hole and then just pull them through. And if you want to tape those ends down, you certainly could, but I think they're fine. I don't think those knots are going to pull through, so we should be fine. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and glue the next side here on our box in place. So we'll pull that up and just make sure your side is nice and square and get a good seal on that. And your very last piece is going to be this top piece here, so don't do any of these quite yet. So we'll just work our way around, pulling off our paper backing and pulling up our sides. And you can actually see that our box is going to collapse, and you can start training your paper to start collapsing like that. And it may actually be easier as you're working to pull that in place and work with your table to get those to stick together. Okay, so now we need to pull that rubber band up, and we're actually going to need to hook it into this little section on this piece. So before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and install a little brad here so we can use it later in our project. So let's go ahead and put it through the hole, and we'll just open it up temporarily. And then let's go ahead and we'll get our rubber band put in place. Okay, so now we just have 3 more sides to glue in place and we'll be all done with our box. Okay, so now we'll just lay those sides down and pull this top, well, it's actually the bottom of the box, right into place and glue them all down really well. So now your box is formed, and if you'll work with it, it will twist and lay flat. So just train that to twist and lay flat, and you have your cute little ribbons hanging out the top, and when you pull on those, your box comes into shape. Isn't that cool? And you've got your little brad here at the bottom that we're going to use. I'm actually going to collapse the box, and then we'll work with that brad installing it in our card. So here's our card base, and we're going to just take our little box that we've created, and I like to work with it while it's flat. We'll open up those little brads there, the little brad pieces, and just push it through on our box base, and then flip it over and open that brad up nice and flat. And now we can go ahead and install the back of our card. So I'll put some adhesive on this piece. I'll just flip that over. And there's about 1/8 of an inch gap all the way around. Once you get that in place, I'm just going to flip it over and press against the table. So now you can see inside our card we have this cute little box that will pop up in place. So isn't that adorable? So let's just twist that and lay it flat for now. And here's our little sentiment. We're going to glue that in here, and I left a little space so you can sign your card. And you could use a pop dot, but I didn't really want to use the extra space inside the card, so I think I'll just glue this down flat. We'll just center that and stick it right down. Okay, so now we just need to fold our card base. And there's a little bit of gusset on this card, a little extra space there to give you room to have your box inside. And the little sentiment says, hoping your birthday is filled with wonderful surprises. And then you can pop open your little present, and it's a cute little box present inside of your card. So we'll just lay that flat, and we'll just close up our card. And I would tie this closed probably with a little baker's twine, or maybe some of that ribbon again that we used inside. Either one would work really well. We'll cut that off. And just tie it right in place. So now your card is ready to give to somebody special for their birthday. And when they open it up, they're going to get a really cute surprise. They'll just untie it and open the card, hoping your birthday is filled with wonderful surprises, and a cute little present's going to pop up there inside. I really hope you enjoy making this super fun surprise pop-up birthday card, and I hope you have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.